If you have keratosis pilaris, you may have used several skincare products to get rid of this skin condition. And if you have not been successful, it may be because there's something missing in your skincare routine or your management of keratosis pilaris. So before we talk about the missing link in your management of keratosis pilaris, let's talk a little bit more about what the condition is. Keratosis pilaris is a common skin condition that affects about 50% of the population and is usually associated with atopic dermatitis or eczema, dry skin, allergies, or even people who have asthma. So what happens in keratosis pilaris, or KP for short, is that there is a buildup of keratin or dry dead skin cells around the hair follicle, and people who have this condition, they just have a hard time shedding those dead skin cells, and so they accumulate around the hair follicle and sometimes can cause inflammation. And so when you have this inflammation, in some individuals it might show up as red, bumpy skin. So the bumps are from the excess keratin and the redness is from the inflammation. But for some people who have skin of color, they will present with bumpy skin and dark spots. Keratosis pilaris usually feels dry and bumpy and can be found in the outer aspects of the body. So the cheeks, the back of the arms, the back of the legs, the buttocks. Keratosis pilaris is associated with obesity, type 2 diabetes, and insulin resistance as well. So now let's talk about what you need to do to treat keratosis pilaris. We'll start with what you need to do on the inside, and then we'll talk about what you need to do on the outside. There are two main things that you need to do internally to help manage your keratosis pilaris. The first one is going to be the foods that you eat. So because people with keratosis pilaris have a difficulty shedding dead skin, it's going to be very important to eat foods that are high in vitamin A, which helps to regulate keratinization. Some examples of these foods include beets, carrots, green leafy vegetables, pumpkin, and papaya. Earlier, I mentioned that keratosis pilaris is associated with obesity, type 2 diabetes, and insulin resistance. And so it's going to be important to work on reversing these conditions if you want to keep your keratosis pilaris at bay. So decreasing the intake of sugars, refined carbohydrates, and losing weight will be very, very important in helping you manage your keratosis pilaris. Now let's talk about skincare products that you need for keratosis pilaris. The most important products that you're going to need will be something that is going to hydrate your skin, since this condition is associated with dry skin. The next product that's going to be important is going to be a product that helps to exfoliate the skin. Since we have to deal with an accumulation of dead skin, we need something that's going to help remove the dead skin. So it could be products that have ingredients such as lactic acid, glycolic acid, urea, and also salicylic acid. I'll list some examples below. Lastly, you need to make sure that you're using sunscreen because there's inflammation of the skin in these areas, and a lot of times they tend to be in sun exposed areas. You want to wear sunscreen so that if you have darker skin, for example, you don't cause further inflammation to the skin, which normally melanin doesn't like inflammation. And so if melanated skin is inflamed, it will cause hyperpigmentation and further worsen the dark spots on your skin. In terms of procedures that can help with keratosis pilaris, laser hair removal or laser hair reduction is going to be a great option, since we know that the keratin plugs around the hair follicle. If you can eliminate the hair follicle, you won't have anything for the keratin to basically plug onto or hold onto. In conclusion, I think that the missing link with the management of keratosis pilaris for a lot of people is the internal component of the management of keratosis pilaris. So make sure that you're eating healthy foods that support your skin health and decrease the intake of foods that can cause inflammation to the body. I hope you found this video useful. Share this video with somebody that might have keratosis pilaris, and I'll see you on the next video. Bye.